Now, welcome to another Let's Talk Some Bad Batch, where this time it is the 15th and 16th episodes of Season 2, The Summit and Plan 99, also known as the finale of Season 2. So if you have not seen it yet and you don't want anything ruined, it is a really good time to click away. Alright, so once again, let's begin with your ever-so-brief review of this episode, Sailor Naboo.
Why did they have to make me like Tech? If they would have killed Tech in first season, I wouldn't have cared. But no. They're like, you know what? We're gonna make you really like Tech and empathize with Tech, and then we're gonna kill him.
You cared a lot that Tech died.
I still don't even believe he's dead.
Well, I know.
It's
no one's ever really
remember?
gone. Yeah. What was really kind of crazy about it is the theory that maybe he survived. I mean, the way it was lining up as he fell, not to get gruesome here, but the thing was going to crush him too.
He had time though to readjust.
Grapple up or something.
Maybe.
But he already used his little grappling gun.
We don't know. Tech's pretty smart. He could have done something.
He's very smart. If anybody was going to survive that fall.
I'm just saying, he doesn't want to give them any... He already has Crosshair. They kept Crosshair. Why not keep a second one? They went and looked for him. And what reason do you have to tell the others that he's alive? So they have more reason to come after you?
Well, they're going to come after him, or Hemlock, we're talking about here. They're going to come after him for Omega one way or another. I don't think they're just going to give her up, so... But at the point he gives them the goggles, they don't know. Mm-hmm. I mean, they don't have Omega yet, so it could have been some kind of ploy or trick or trap.
Mm-hmm. I also like that I was correct in my theory that the ladies at base Hemlock were clones.
That makes it sound real kinky.
Well, he has a type, and he just clones more of it.
If I could clone you, I wouldn't. You're one of a kind.
Hmm.
All right, so let's now move on and get to some comments from my review on the other channel. And we will, of course, once again begin with the top-rated comment over there after, I think, 3 hours or so. So, sorry if you commented late.
First comment comes from Dr. Maxwell in mine, CDDP. Those few minutes of suspense before his death were excellent. Seeing Hemlock holding his broken goggles was gut-wrenching.
You knew it was coming. The minute he went up there and he's trying to fix the power, and then he kind of falls and he's dangling. Come on, we all knew.
Maybe if Wrecker wasn't such a coward, he could have saved him.
He couldn't have. If he would have stepped on there, he would have broken it off and they both die.
But he could have had his grapple thing, and they could have swung like Batman to safety.
I don't think...
He could have Spider-Man'd him.
I'm not so sure Wrecker is a Spider-Man type.
Because he's scared of the heights. That's just... Maybe he blames himself. He probably
does, yeah.
Maybe he should.
Well, I mean, I remember at one point Hunter's like, bring him up already. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of a little upset at Wrecker that he was just letting him hang there. But I think Wrecker knew that he couldn't just go onto the second car without breaking it loose.
Why didn't he shoot him with his grapple?
Because that would have saved Tech and we needed him to die. Or possibly die.
That sounds bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe he was too far down. I think Tech was already at the end of his line. So in theory... Wrecker's line wouldn't reach.
But they used those lines from the ground to shoot onto the things. I saved him and they didn't.
Stop making sense.
That's what I do.
I mean, there were probably things you could have done, but you also have to keep in mind it's stressful.
Gonky could have just flown the ship and picked him up.
I don't know that Gonky was flying that thing anyway.
He could. He's been training.
Then again, I mean, these guys do nothing but operate under stress and come up with clever solutions all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, you can always try to second guess the characters in the story. The whole idea here is, of course, the story, for dramatic effect, wanted our character, our beloved Tech, to die, and he probably has.
Moving on to our next comment from Jack Girata. Holy crap, I absolutely hate this finale. In the best possible way. It was a great setup for Season 3. When have we ever followed order? Genuinely badass final words.
Badass and so sad, too.
Now Omega can't ever yell, Tick! Tick!
You're not doing it as well.
Not today. I'm broken because Tech is gone.
You were broken. I was broken, too.
I
didn't take it well. I was surprised at how well I didn't take that. Especially seeing it coming.
I guess I should just be glad they didn't kill Echo. Although they took his little comma away that he wears
why did
on his waist, and I thought that looked really cool on him, so...
Well, yeah, it's like the ARC Trooper
Yeah, they took that from him, and that's lame.
Who took it from him?
Clearly Rex did.
Rex
like, all two of us can't wear a comma, so...
Yeah, it's kind of my thing. I'm sexier because I'm sexy Rexy.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're getting off topic. No, that was a very good final line.
It was so sad because they had made up their minds they were gonna, let's all go live on Pabu, and
Yep. Well, come
everything
on.
bad
That's
had to
all
happen
part
in
of
this
the...
episode. It was so sad, and now we're gonna wait, 6 years for season 3?
If there's a season 3?
Ugh, you can't leave it like this.
Well, let's move on for now.
Next comment is from Spades of Paint Studios. The likely reason the ending was written in such a way for Bad Batch was because doing a mission and finding the location is too simple. I like that they did write it like this because it does leave us wanting more, and it does allow for a new season where they don't start almost happy-go-lucky.
Yeah, if you recall, they start like on a beach, though they're running from like giant crabs this season.
That comment goes along with Milo the Mighty. Basically, it started out the way we thought it would, then it ended in a devastating ending like Revenge of the Sith, The Siege of Mandalore, and Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, it started out like, oh, okay, they're going to do the simple, we're going to put a tracker on Hemlock's ship, we're going to find Mount Tantus, and we're going to mount a rescue. That's what I thought the first episode was just, okay, you're going to just go with that route, and that's fine. I think it could still be good. And then it all went wrong. Thanks, Saw Gerrera.
Thanks, Saw. No wonder we don't like you.
What do you mean?
He's
I
a
kind of like
partisan. The
Saw.
partisans are bad. They're too extreme.
I mean, they are too extreme, but I kind of like Saw Gerrera anyway.
There'd be no amnesty from them.
No, definitely not. New Republic wouldn't have problems if Saw Gerrera had survived and been in charge.
Because he'd execute
Actually, they had problems a different way, but yes.
Because it would just be a new dictator.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Sorry, Saw.
Oh, are you sorry, though?
Not really. But no, I mean, I was stunned how this went. I thought, I had said last week I wasn't sure how this was going to go, but you kind of figure,
Well, it's because
okay.
they've been doing this adventure of the week, so we thought they're just going to fly through this adventure too. But them taking their time and slowing down and doing things the right way made it better.
Yeah, and you kind of expected the whole crosshair thing to just be resolved this week. I mean, I knew I did. I didn't think there was any chance it didn't get resolved, and instead it didn't, and I'm kind of happy it didn't because, like the comment here points out, or the previous one, now we get to go into the next season, like, really looking forward to something. It's not just going to start with, oh, the team's back together again. Now it's Omega captured again, but I like the way they did it this time. And
And she's not captured for her genetic makeup in this one. She's captured because she's got value to Nalase.
Yeah. So who knows how that's going to go, too. And she's got a sister. They all have got a sister. Or two. Or more. Who knows what goes on in Hemlock's sleeper.
Who comes from whom in this case? We don't know how the female clones were engineered.
No, we have, like I said, we have no idea why they were made, who exactly made them. I mean, none of it makes sense. They have to be age accelerated too, right?
Do they?
Well, when would they have been created? When did Django, because you figure the clone army was made roughly 10 years ago. So
they must be accelerated.
Yeah, either that or they got Django's DNA
so
a long time ago.
how does Omega not know about them?
That's the question. That's one of the 50 questions that sprang to mind when the episode was over.
Well, then let's move on to the next comment. NG98. When have we ever followed orders? Great last words from Tech. His sacrifice really hit me hard. I've been a fan of Bad Batch from the beginning, even the filler episodes. But the end of this season turned out better than I ever imagined. The finale was fantastic and tragic, and I hate that we don't even know if there will be a season 3. I'm really hoping for a Bad Batch announcement at Star Wars Celebration.
Fingers crossed. We don't know. I mean, it seems obvious that they set up a season 3, but we know Papa Disney is having some money issues.
Papa Disney's got a lot going on right now.
Well, yeah, they do have a lot going on in
the
general.
The whole Florida thing is about to happen too.
Well, yeah, obviously not going to talk about that here, but I mean, just talking about Star Wars and the content they create. Bob Iger has talked about scaling back, talked about doing less shows, spending less money. So
but they talked that they weren't going to cut things from things like Star Wars, which they consider as something that brings the money in. Sure,
they also said they're going to space things out more to let them kind of marinate a little bit more. In other words, hopefully people don't unsubscribe while things are marinating, but...
No, instead of marinating, they need to have continuous content because then no one would leave.
That's why I kind of laughed. It was such a... I mean...
And it doesn't have to be continuous Star Wars because a lot of the Star Wars people we like Marvel too. It needs to be a continuous, like, adult type content that we want to watch.
Yeah, you need basically every month or so, or every time something ends, something new should be starting relatively shortly thereafter.
Well, their basic series from Marvel and from Star Wars are about, let's say, averaging 8 episodes.
Yeah.
So that's every 2 months putting on a show from one of them.
Which would be, 6,
doable.
7. Well, 4. It sounds a lot one way or another, but because that would be every 8 weeks. You're basically talking.
Okay, roughly. I said roughly.
You're taking 3 shows a year from each.
Weeks off or whatever. Not to mention, we're going to be in a stretch now between when Mando ends. There'll be nothing really for me on Disney Plus aside from Visions.
Yeah, that's
until
gonna be
June
good,
21st
hopefully.
when Secret Invasion comes out. And if that's running around 8 episodes, by the time that's ending, Ahsoka should be close to starting. I mean, we'll find out for certain soon.
I'm assuming a release date at Celebration and maybe an announcement on Bad Batch at Celebration. I mean, again, clearly set up a season 3, right? Mm-hmm. But we don't know. We don't.
All right, let's move on. Our next comment is from a Canadian Derg. Hear me out. What if Sid was simply closer than anywhere else and the crew simply didn't know how long Omega has left? I doubt the crew really knew how squishy a child is and decided not to take any chances with her health.
Yeah, I was a little surprised they went to Sid.
That's because Sid had the medical droid.
Sure, but other places have medical droids and doctors, and Pabu doesn't have a doctor.
They were trusting Sid for one final time because they couldn't
time.
go to a regular doctor. They're wanted.
Sure, I
and
get all
clones,
that. I'm not.
They should have gone to Chuchi.
Well, that would be like going to Coruscant again, but they didn't have any problem.
Yeah, they've got a secret
time.
base on Coruscant. The hangar where the Martell sisters hang out.
Oh yeah.
So they could have gone there.
Added them to the
Chuchi
finale.
could
That
have
would
brought
have made
some
it great.
medics.
I don't know. I don't really have a problem with it. It's just it was as soon as they're there and I'm seeing AP, I'm like, they're in Sid's. Like they're telegraphing even more bad stuff about to happen right here.
Exactly, because we've known for how long that Sid's going to betray them, and they couldn't figure it out. If Tech was there, he would have told them, "Don't go to Sid."
Yeah, Tech would have been. Yeah, we really needed Tech.
And
here
Echo doesn't realize how bad things were with Sid because he'd already left.
That's a good point too. So it was up to Hunter, who should have seen it, and Wrecker, who
pretty much just Hunter.
Wrecker was having a drink.
Hunter
with
made
Sid.
the bad, desperate call of my kid is
yes,
hurt,
he was, yes,
and they took him to the most
stupid
expedient place they could.
Yes,
which was also a bad decision.
Yes, I get it. They may have not just thought it was that bad with Sid. As you point out, Tech is the brains, though you would think Hunter his instincts would kick in and be like, this is a bad idea.
Well, they just didn't know who they could trust, and they were on the run, and they ended up at Old Familiar, which was not faithful.
They panicked or something. Mm-hmm. It's fine.
Next comment is from Drave Junior. I've thought of something. The clone commandos may not care what the Empire is doing to everyone else, but the Bad Batch are still their brothers. What if they have just enough to, not succeed in killing them because they can do they managed to surprise us routine? It's really just odd Hunter knocked out a commando in full armor. Just something to think about.
Yeah, you learned that from Tala and Kenobi.
You hit him right on that weak spot
there's
on the
a
helmet?
Spot, yeah. It's a magical spot, and you hit him and they just go right down. But seriously, I like this idea. I've noticed that sometimes the clone commandos are not very commando-like, especially around our main characters. This was no exception. There were a couple times like, they got him dead to rights and they just missed. So it could be that, the clone commandos don't want to kill the Bad Batch. It could be they
might still have a soft spot, yeah.
Could be secretly rooting for him. They probably know what's going on. They see their brothers are in tubes at Mount Tantus, quite likely.
They have to wonder how long before they're the experiments.
Yeah, exactly. So this could just be them. Oh, I missed. It happens. No, I really like that there. It makes sense. Helps kind of clear up just why the commandos seem to be not very commando-like.
The next comment comes from Captain DC. I hope we can get some characterization for Scorch. Or at the very least, why we won't.
I would like to know what happened to Delta Squad. I mean,
we've seen Scorch tooling around a little bit.
Yeah.
He doesn't talk. He just follows orders. What's wrong with the clone commandos?
Yeah, the commandos...
Is something in the chip worse off than it was in the others? Is that why Gregor's mind is so messed up?
Well, Gregor exploded,
We all assume it was from the explosion, but what if triggering Order 66 and the commandos really messed them up? Because they're probably genetically even a little different from the regular clones. Such as it didn't work on the Bad Batch because of their genetic makeup. What if it actually overachieved in the commandos and wiped them to just following orders?
You blew up my previous theory, or the Commander's previous theory.
It's just a theory.
I don't think you're necessarily wrong. I mean, it does kind of make sense. The commandos have just been like drones. Mm-hmm. And Fixer, I mean, it would be cool to get some characterization out of Fixer. I feel, or Excuse me, not Fixture. I'm talking about Scorch. Maybe Fixture will show up too.
Maybe you can fix Scorch.
But I mean, I would like to know what's going on with Scorch. I feel like we have this showdown coming up at some point with Scorch, that they're gonna get into another brawl with him.
There needs to be something.
Yeah, and kind of you could spice it up. We could get under the helmet of Scorch and bring in the rest of Delta Squad and see what's going on.
Next comment is from General AMC. I can't wait for them to announce the Book of Commander Cody so we can finally see Hunter and Omega reunite.
Yeah,
That's
I was
nice.
shocked we didn't have a post-credit
That's-
scene where
that's nice.
that's
I
a
like this
quality.
comment.
Yeah, if this was me Monday, that would get a quality right there.
Most people probably don't even know what that
No,
means.
you should
That's
watch me
fine.
Monday. But no, it was funny, and I figured this could be included because
Because it's funny.
yeah, that's it. I got nothing else.
Yeah. And we do need the Book of Commander Cody because he had
I-
like one
we
episode
do
where
need
like,
the Book of
hey,
Co-
we
that's-
love him. But then Cody will be really lame in it though. They'll like invite Hunter be like, I need your help to find Omega. And Cody will be like, oh, well, I'll knit you a sweater. And
It wouldn't be that bad. He would just
he would look lame though.
yeah.
That's
They
the
would.
sad thing.
That's when you get your own show. It's all downhill.
And Cody's sidekick, some clone we've never heard of before, will be like super badass.
And just tells them what to do all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, scratch it. We don't need the Book of Commander Cody.
All right, our last comment today comes from Caleb. The season finale was incredible. Tech's death was shocking and brought tears to my eyes. Really hope they don't end up bringing him back. The point of
I was
view
so
shots
sad
from
he died,
Omega
but don't bring
after
him
the rail car crash were visceral. Reminded me of Saving Private Ryan. And the reveal at the end with the female clones was wild. I'm very excited for season 3.
Same.
Yeah. There's one thing that a lot of people didn't mention that I mentioned when we were watching it.
Yeah.
The way that they animated, especially during the fights in the
Yeah.
corridors,
Yeah.
they animated it like it was a live action.
Yep.
Like shooting angles were really cool and interesting and diverse. I appreciated that because obviously that's going to take a little more effort out of the animating crew to
Yeah.
theoretically move a camera that isn't there. So the art and everything has to work extra hard to give you that feeling and compensate.
Yeah, the camera actually like moved with them. Usually it's kind of pans left to right, up and down. But no, that
It's
actually
static
felt like a
and you see
real.
people run through a frame.
Yeah, exactly. And that looked like real camera work. That was.
It was good.
Oh, it was
really
gorgeous.
good.
Yeah.
And they had like you could tell they had the full orchestra score going on.
Oh, Kevin Kiner at his finest here again.
Yes. Everything about this was checking off boxes in the win category.
Like I said, I had minor nitpicks with the going to Sid. Okay, that's explainable. The commandos missing again, possibly explainable.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only nitpicks I could find. Everything else here was just perfectly executed.
Absolutely.
All right, well, I guess that's all we got for you this time. So now it is your turn to take to the comments below and tell us what you thought of this finale of The Bad Batch. Tell us how you're looking forward to season 3, and will you riot if we don't get it? I will.
Burn it all.
We're kidding. Or are we? Anyway, take to the comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.